How's it going, everybody? This is Cameron White with White Light Astrology, giving you guys your weekly forecast of what the heck is going on in the universe. We're going to be going from Monday, August 1st to the 8th of next Monday. Start off with a couple announcements. First, I'd like to say I totally apologize for getting this video out late. I just moved from Denver to Vegas. I'm here now. I'm actually on top of a parking lot at the Suncoast in Summerlin. Figured get a cool view, I guess. I don't know. I'm just going to see what works, what doesn't work. Anyway, I also have a class I'm going to be teaching at Enchanted Forest Reiki Center off of South Jones this Friday. It's just an introduction into astrology, in case, you know, if there's anyone out there that's here in Vegas, if you guys don't really understand it, want to learn more about the houses, the aspects, and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope to see you guys there. You guys can register for the class at enchantedforestreiki.com on their website or on their Facebook, or on my Facebook at White Light Astrology. Yeah, at White Light Astrology. Yeah, that's my Facebook. Anyway, yeah, I think that's it for announcements. Let's go ahead and get started with Tuesday. We're having the Moon in Sag trining the Sun and Mars, and it's going to be squaring Mercury. We got Venus now in Cancer. We got Mercury opposing Neptune, and then we also have this full moon in Aquarius, this pre-eclipse that we're going to have. It's this week's really intense, and this week is really going to be. This is, you know, what I was saying last week as far as being conscious, be aware, be present. What are you thinking? What are you going through? What is your intention behind all this? Because last week was a really weird week. It was, you know, things were happening left and right, but in this weird sort of a tone that I know a lot of people just kind of went into confusion about and just kind of like passed it off like it was nothing. However, this next week is really going to have a lot called to our attention. And on Tuesdays, we have this Moon in Sag. You know, people are looking to expand what they're thinking, what they're doing, what they're feeling, looking to bring that essence of self with that Sun conjunct Mars issue. I shouldn't say issue, but that Sun conjunct Mars energy, and trying to bring it and direct it somewhere. Like, where are we taking this? Where are we going with this? Where are we wanting to do? And even though it's squaring Mercury, things aren't really making sense right now because we want things to be specific and we want things to be exact. It's not going to look like that. You're going to have to just go on the adventure. It's like the Sagittarius wants, you know, just to go on the hike, but the Virgo is like, you know, do I have my, you know, first aid kit? Do I have my water? Do I have this? Do I have that? You know, where are we going? Where are we going to be parking? You know, which direction are we going to be going in? You're not going to be able to get all of those fine details here going on from Tuesday into Wednesday. And on Wednesday, as we have Venus finally stopping its opposition with Saturn, it's going to be sextiling Mercury and Uranus. So with Venus in Cancer, things really turn the page from, oh, you know, we're experiencing things, we're having new things, to now things actually really matter. Things are starting to emotionally get to you, and you got to start to understand what it is that is holding you back. So with Venus in Cancer, you could be very reclusive. You could, you know, want to be the nurturer, want to take care of other people, want to fix other people, want to get a situation exactly right. And the biggest thing with Venus in Cancer is just making sure that you're not closed off to yourself. You want to make sure that you're getting yourself out of that Cancer shell. And even though we just went through all this Cancer energy, we just experienced everything that we had. Now that Venus is in there. Venus is bringing a lot more of a love and abundance to this area. We just did a lot of work in Cancer. However, as Venus moves through there, it's going to be showing you a lot of what you want to experience and the things that Venus wants you to see. Venus is all about that love, that intimacy, all that fifth house stuff, and second and seventh house. However, more just about what it is that really gives you that heart feeling, that core, deep down emotional, that sentimental feeling. And you want to be comfortable, you want to be in control, and sometimes you're not going to be able to have that. So with this Venus in Cancer, definitely get to the point. Find it within yourself where this energy is really taking place. You know, where are you wanting things to, you know, have more control? Where are you starting to get emotional with things, especially with relationships? And as it stops opposing Saturn, we're out of this weird karmic energy with Venus and Saturn. It was like relationships were like I don't really know, like things are kind of iffy, you know, I want to go this way, but things are looking this way. Now that Venus is in Cancer, it's like, okay, let's go back down to what we want. And as it sextiles Mercury and it sextiles Uranus, this is going to be a lot of charge. It's going to be a lot of mental stimulation. It's going to be on your mind. It's going to be on your mind a lot. So really take that in and really, you know, experience it for what it is. Get one with your emotions. Be, you know, give yourself love, give others love. However, just make sure that you're really opening up and you're trusting, because that's another thing. If you're in a relationship issue and you're not, you know, sure, you're not too confident about what's going on, depending on what the situation is, you just got to learn to trust which side means more to you, I guess you should say. yeah, the biggest thing with Venus and Cancer is just really trusting the process, trusting yourself, trusting other people, trusting the relationship, trusting all that kind of stuff. So this is now putting a more positive aspect to it, rather than when we dealt with all this Cancer energy beforehand. With the Cancer energy, it was like, you know, you got to trust the process, you got to figure it all out and just go with it. Now that Venus is in Cancer, it's like, okay, I can actually sit down, calm down, and really trust what's going on. Now that you know the specs, it's kind of like going on a roller coaster. You know, I don't know if I trust it, but it's like, okay, I see, you know, the specs, it all makes sense. I just saw someone go on it, they didn't die or anything like that. Like, you can actually sit there and enjoy the ride. And then on Thursday, we're having the moon opposed Venus. It's going to be trining Uranus as the moon opposed Venus as it goes into the later degrees of Scorpio and later degrees of Sagittarius and into Scorpio. That's when things are going to start getting a little bit more intense around that aspect, as far as like, okay, like the moon will be conjuncting Saturn, and then it will be opposing Venus. This is going, okay, like, where do I want to take this direction? What does this really mean to me? What emotions am I supposed to be feeling right now? And a lot of emotions are going to come up, and it's time to purge all these emotions. With this Venus in Cancer, you're going to it's going to be ripping you. Like, what do you want? What is worth giving to? What is worth your energy? What is worth nurturing? Like, what flower do you want to water? What plant do you want to water in your garden? Do you want to water the dead one, or do you want to water the one that is going to keep growing, that looks healthy right now? And it's going to ask you, you know, or I shouldn't say it's going to ask you, the moon is going to, after it conjunct Saturn, it's like, where are we taking all this? We're still going in a certain direction. Where do we want, you know, where do we want to apply this aspect to? And as it goes into Scorpio, you're going to be releasing a lot of energy. You're going to be experiencing a lot of new energy. You're going to be letting go of a lot of stuff. And on as it, you know, of course, as it trines Uranus, is going to be extreme ups and downs, breakthroughs, understanding more of self. This is going back into the Uranus and Aries stuff. It's we're learning so much more about ourselves, and it's creating liberation, and it's creating huge issues at the same time. Sun is going to be trining Saturn, sextiling Jupiter. Great, about time. Now that, you know, Jupiter, Saturn, Sun, they're all in, you know, they're all in the mix, they're all on the same page. Now it's like, okay, now we're actually taking ourselves in that direction that we want to, with the whole Saturn retrograde deal. Now that we're getting ready for Saturn to go direct, now we're like, okay, I've worked through everything that I need to since Saturn went retrograde, which was May? June? I don't remember. But since Saturn's been retrograde, it's been like, okay, we're still going in this one direction. Where do we want to take it all? Which, you know, where do we want to point the gun, basically? And now we're getting ready to, you know, fire the trigger. We know where our target is. We're aiming, we're pointing, and as Saturn goes direct, it's going to be time to pull the trigger. However, as the Sun is trining Saturn and also sextiling Jupiter, this is just a good time to bring that that whole Jupiter and Libra thing that I've been talking about, as far as the relationship with yourself, the relationship with others, enjoying the beauty that surrounds you. What does that mean to you? You know, getting deep and processing yourself with that. And so it's going to be a big emphasis on, you know, your ego, your pride, your courageousness, all that stuff, all this Leo energy. It's going to be, you're going to be wearing it this week. And Neptune will also be quincunxing the Sun. And now this is what's weird about this whole Neptune energy, and it's been kind of fun to watch, because I shouldn't say kind of fun, it's actually been really fucking fun to watch. And with Neptune in Pisces now in retrograde, we don't have, you know, not a whole lot in water going on. Well, now that Venus is in Cancer, but that's a different story. We don't have a lot of Pisces energy going on. It's kind of like this weird thing. And as it starts to quincunx the Sun, quincunxes are like these weird relationships. They're like, you know, it's not a trine where we're best friends, or a sextile where we're, you know, we're awesome together, or a conjunction where we're the same, or a square where, you know, you're, you know, the same but different, or an opposition where you're complete opposite. It's like, we work together, we don't really vibe together, but it works in this weird way. Like for example, like Scorpios and Geminis, and Scorpios and Capricorns. It's like this weird energy between them that's just kind of like, I don't really know about this. And that's basically the quincunx energy. And as Neptune quincunxes the Sun, you're going to start getting a lot of this Pisces energy behind this Leo. It's going to be like, okay, things are kind of weird. Things are kind of coming up left and right. What does my subconscious tell me? Why does this all seem like a dream? Why is this all so confusing now? But even though you're going to be enjoying it, you're going to be embracing it, you're going to be going with it. It's kind of like, if you ever see something happen, you're like, I'm not going to question it. I don't really know what's going on. I'm just confused, but I'm enjoying it. That's basically going to be that energy. And Friday, we'll have Neptune sextile the Moon in Capricorn. This is going to be starting to create a yod with Mars and Sun. We'll be having that more on Monday and Sunday. However, as we have Neptune and Pluto sextile still, as they both start to quincunx the Sun and Mars, this is where you're going to start seeing a lot more action towards the Sun and Mars stuff. With Sun conjunct Mars, it's like, oh man, you know, an idea that just pops up into your head, something that you're feeling on your heart, and you just want to go out and do it. You want to, you know, be yourself and do you, and any inspiration and idea that's coming to you, you want to focus on it and put energy on it and really move forward with it. However, it's going to be way bigger on Friday. As we have this yacht, it's going to be like, okay, it's really time to start taking what's in my head, what's in my dreams, what's in my subconscious, and we're going to use that to transform what actual, like, more about this Pluto and Capricorn stuff, this Pluto and Capricorn, transforming your public image, what you're doing with your life, you know, concrete ideas, foundations, like, you know, taxes, rules, regulations, all that kind of Capricorn energy. And as this yod comes into play, which a yod is just two quincunxing planets that are, you know, two planets that are quincunxing one planet that sextile each other, so basically like an isosceles triangle. And as this comes about, you're going to feel a lot more intense energy towards actually moving forward with things. And this week, you want to move forward with things. You want to keep going. Don't stop. You know, you've been on the roll for, you know, since July basically started, and things have just been kind of happening left and right and left and right. This week, you got to keep going. It's like that last 10% as we get to this full moon. And Mercury will be trining the moon and Pluto. The moon will also be conjuncting Pluto. So again, transforming emotions. Again, you know, breaking down barriers, you know, being vulnerable, being okay with feeling your emotions, and also in strengthening yourself. This is Capricorn energy. And the moon in Capricorn can be really, really stubborn. It can be really, really hard-headed and kind of avoidant of anything, you know, deep. However, with this moon in Capricorn, not only are you going to realize a lot more of what you're actually going through, however, it's going to really empower you and really strengthen you with this week. And then Venus will also be trining Neptune, bringing a lot more not only awareness intuitively, however, consciously kind of like confusion with this whole Venus and Cancer energy, what I just talked about. Anyway, sorry, it's like really hot. I gotta make these videos a little bit shorter. So let me see if I can wrap this up as best as I can. Saturday, moon conjuncts Pluto, trine Uranus, square Jupiter. Venus trines Neptune, it sextiles Mercury. As Venus trines Neptune and sextiles Mercury, this is gonna make a lot more sense. Like I was just saying, the whole Neptune-Venus thing is kind of like, okay, this consciously doesn't make sense, but intuitively I know what's going on. As it's sextiles Mercury, it's like, okay, now I know how to delegate all this stuff. Okay, now I know where everything's going. And even though Mercury is opposing Neptune this week, which is still kind of like, the big picture doesn't really make sense, that whole intimacy and the whole relationships and the love side of it, that will start to pan out and it start to look a lot easier. Sunday, the moon goes into Aquarius. It's squaring Uranus. It's going to be opposing Mars. Then the sun will be quincunxing Pluto, and then Neptune will be quincunxing Mars and sun. So now that we're building up all this energy, it's all focused on the sun, Mars, and the moon. And as the moon goes into Aquarius, it's like, okay, what are the possibilities? What are we creating? What, you know, like, what am I really looking at? Everything's going to just come in big waves. Everything's going to hit you in your fucking face, and you're going to have to really start to do something about it. And what's awesome too is that we have this, you know, yacht, we have Pluto, and then Neptune, and then sun and Mars as they're pointed. We're going to have the moon right in between it. So this is extra powerful. This is called, if this was in a natal chart, we would call this like, you know, a golden yacht. Hitler actually had one of these, which that doesn't mean a bad thing. It's just extremely powerful, as you can see. And as the moon starts to build up on this full moon, this whole full moon is going to be about really realizing what your possibilities, what you can create, what is going to be happening. You know, what is, when I say what is, it's like Aquarius sees everything. Aquarius sees things through different perspectives, through different, you know, looks, through the third eye. It looks from a bird's eye perspective. And as this moon goes into Aquarius, you're going to realize a lot of how much potential you have, how creative you can be about resolving your issues, about what's really at stake here, about all these huge things, because you're going to be realizing it all this week, and it's all going to be about yourself. You're going to be realizing so much energy about yourself and so much power within you. And as Mars is right there, it's time to take action on it. It's time to move forward with it. And yeah, that's what this full moon's really going to be about. With this whole yacht thing, it's going to be happening exactly on Monday. Venus will square Jupiter that day. Moon opposes Mars and Sun. Jupiter and Saturn sextile. Hold on. Oh yeah, Venus square Jupiter. That's what I wanted to talk about there. As Venus squares Jupiter, this is where it's going to be like, okay, with what you want, with what your desires are, with more about this Cancer stuff of, you know, what emotionally fulfills you, where do you need to be healed, where do you need to be nurtured, all that kind of stuff. As it squares Jupiter, you might make a decision that, you know, may not really make sense, something that you may not really want to do, but it's something that it may rock the boat a little bit, but you got to go with what your intuition's telling you. You got to go with what makes you feel better, and it's only going to be squaring for a little while because Venus moves pretty fast. However, you know, you may make a decision and you may rock the boat a little bit. Keep your head up, keep your head out of the water, keep the stability, even though we got all this stuff going on. Don't worry about that right now. We have way too much good stuff going on to even worry about Venus square Jupiter. And things aren't going to, you know, be so I don't know what's the word to say. Oh man, I'm such at a loss for words this week. However, that's really what's going on, guys. Like this week is a really big deal with this full moon, and the biggest thing is going to be how much are you willing to take action on what you realize. You know, people will say knowledge is half the battle, the other half is actually action. You can know everything in the whole world, but it doesn't fucking mean anything if you're not taking action on it. Realize what's at stake. Realize what your power is. Realize everything. Take a look at everything. Experience it all this week, and take action. What's going to serve you more? What's going to be, you know, putting yourself in the limelight? This is Leo energy. This is about being a leader of self. This is about creating and envisioning the world that you want to create for yourself. This is about taking, and with Mars conjuncting too, this is about taking immediate action. This is about putting all of your energy and force into what you want to create. And that's what this full moon is going to really bring about, is the realization of what it is, of everything. It's going to be what all of your issues are, what all the greatest parts about it. And it's time to make that decision of, are you going to do it or not? Because as the next 2 weeks go by into this new moon, into this eclipse, this next 2 weeks are going to be the most important parts of this whole year. And so again, bring everything to awareness, experience everything, realize it all, make the decision to move forward. That's what I got for you guys. So thank you guys so much again for watching all my videos. I'm sending lots of love, light, and abundance. Another thing, I totally apologize. I have not had a chance to put out the August horoscopes. So I'm still workshopping what exactly, or I should say, thinking about what exactly I want to do with, you know, getting everyone's individual signs kind of covered. If you guys have any ideas, please shoot them towards me. I love the feedback. I love the support. Yeah, if you guys want to check out my Facebook, White Light Astrology, YouTube at White Light Astrology, Twitter and Instagram at White Light Cam. Same thing with my SoundCloud. If you guys want to listen to my music, that's going to be soundcloud.com/whitelightcam. And that's what I got for you guys. It's a big week. Don't waste this week. Don't avoid this week. Jesus. I don't know. Like, that's the only thing I could say is don't avoid it. So I will be seeing you guys very, very soon. And again, thank you so much.